Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap on the Boom Bust channel, a Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry, and today doing a review or a recap, of our week 7 loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yikes. Yikes. I mean, I feel like I've said many times, I feel like a broken record. There's not a whole lot to say that's new if you've been listening to this channel, but there's plenty of fans, and I have no problem saying this. I know some people like, oh, you're a hater, and they say whatever. But I do laugh at these fans who are quote unquote optimistic. There's a difference, and I to be honest, I'm not like this in real life either, but there's a difference in your personal life being optimistic about something happening and how things might turn out versus you talking about a team which you know what they are. To me, if you're like, oh, I'm just so optimistic, I'm just going to keep saying I'm going to say Rodgers sucks, I'm going to say Brady sucks, I'm going to repost this picture of Khalil Mack flipping over Tristan Wirfs because I'm going to manifest that no, this is football. What you bring onto the field is what you have. Obviously, you have to execute, and you don't win on paper. But this is not an energy thing. This is not a hope thing. This is a sport that is orchestrated between 11 people at the same time. You have to have talent. You have to have coaching. You have to have coordination. And that's just not what we have. And so today, this went pretty much how we expected. And I would say we saw, I wouldn't even say Tampa was the team I expected it from, but we saw all of our issues get exposed. And so Tampa, to me, honestly, I'm a big Brady fan. If you've listened to me, you know that. I'm a big Brady fan, but honestly, I didn't have like this, oh, we're going to get smoked thought process just because of what happened last year. And for whatever reason last year, you saw that we were able to do something. And for whatever reason, they folded a little bit against us. Wasn't the case this year. Now, I had no beliefs that, okay, we were going to win or anything. But at the same time, I was just like, okay, I'm kind of thinking like we have a chance. I didn't get a chance to record the preview, but I was going to give us a 30% chance. They have some injuries, and if we could do something similar to what we done before, at least at the pace of getting their offensive line confused like last year, and getting some pressure, but then, of course, Robert Quinn is out and all that. But still, I didn't think it'd be this bad. But the issue is the same issues we've talked about over and over. The issues that people argue with me over and over. And we see it come to fruition. You have, number one, an offensive line that cannot protect to the level that a rookie quarterback needs. Now, to be quite honest with you, and people probably don't want to hear this, Andy Dalton would be doing better right now. He would. 100%, he would be doing better right now. But we going with Justin Fields, whatever. And so I don't have a problem with that, to be quite honest with you. But a rookie quarterback is going to need time to process. Even the great Patrick Mahomes, who I think has other issues, has shown that if you do not have that time, it does not matter. This is one of the most tried and true things. And I talk about other issues outside of sports in our country. And so it is a weird parallel because there's just certain things you see over and over, and yet people somehow still get surprised. Same thing happens in football. They're like, people say coach speak and cliches, and I don't want to hear that. All that stuff is true, especially if you in the game. That stuff is said for a reason. Pressure bursts pipes. If you have pressure on the quarterback, I don't care who you are, there's no quarterback that thrives under pressure. You can blitz, and the quarterback can be better against the blitz because they know you're blitzing and they can cut you. But no quarterback thrives with people in their face or around their feet. And so you take that situation, you apply it to a rookie quarterback who is still learning. And to me, as I said before, is not great at reading coverage. That doesn't mean he can't do it, but he has some development to go. And so when he is in a situation where he has no time, I won't even say no time, but when he just doesn't have a normal amount of time, it's going to happen that way. And you're going to see the same results we see. Then we get behind and he starts pressing and making more mistakes. Now, one thing I will say, because this caught me with Daniel Jones and with the Giants, because in college you don't, not everybody, but some players at big programs, they don't see that type of pressure. And so you don't really know how their ability is to handle the ball. You know, most teams go through the drills with quarterbacks protecting the ball and all that. But some quarterbacks just aren't good at it. And I don't know. It's still early with Justin Fields, but it's starting to feel like he might not be good at protecting the ball under pressure. And so if that's the case, I mean, well, first of all, that's just something we're going to have to keep an eye on. But so far, obviously he's looking for a big shot. Obviously, he's not seeing things as fast as a veteran quarterback. But when he's going into contact, not going into contact, but when he's in contact in the pocket, he's been losing the ball. Not just today, but he's been losing the ball. So that's something to watch out for. But that's the offensive line. So, I mean, really, that's really it with the offense. I mean, Justin Fields is still learning, and he's not there yet. And the offensive line is not helping matters at all. Now, going to the defense, it's the same issues, especially with Tom Brady. No pressure. I wouldn't say no pressure, but not as, I mean, we don't have great pressure. Now, as much as people still want to say, oh, look at, we lead the league in sacks at this point, like whatever. I'm telling you, trust me, put the money on it. We are not a great pass rushing team. I can say that definitively, and I have been saying that. And I've said Robert Quinn has looked way better this year than he did last year, just from a movement standpoint. And I've also told you Mac is lethal when he wants to actually play the pass rush game and get around the edge. However, consistency matters. We haven't had those two things. Even with those two, our interior people are not pass rushers. So you don't really pressure Brady. If you don't get Brady off schedule, it's not happening. We talked about pressure against quarterbacks, and it's true. Mobile quarterbacks, some quarterbacks like Rodgers that extend the play, pressure isn't the exact same as it is to a guy like Tom Brady. But with Tom Brady especially, you have to get him off schedule. If he's going in rhythm, he's going to cut you up. And that's exactly what we saw happen. And so that's number one. And then the communication within the secondary, I talked about it within the preseason. I don't know if the side has changed something or what. Obviously, we don't have Kyle Fuller, who got benched by the Broncos. That's crazy. And Gibson was out, but still, I mean, yes, we don't have the same amount of talent. But even still, as I've said before, the communication seems to be off. Talent or not, it seems like we really don't have a clue. Not when I say I don't have a clue. There's many times where it seems like we are not on the same page of who should be covering who. And I told you that in the preseason, and that has shown up in this season so far, where we have really seen some plays where the secondary is just off schedule and they're not covering who they should be, in conjunction with the linebackers as well. So there's that. Those two things have been pretty much throughout our time with Nagy. and they continue today. And so, outside of just that talent and those, unit pieces, it's the same things like the crucial third down conversions, the drops, the penalties, the misplays, just the opportunities, the turnovers. It's all the things that a winning team has. We have shown a lack of. It's something that I've been talking about for a while, and I don't know. I don't know if people hear me now. I don't know if people see it now. And so, I don't know. I hate to sound like a broken record, so I don't want to keep saying these things, but it is what it is. And that's what gets, I don't have it as bad this year for whatever reason. Maybe people don't tune in as much, but I don't have it as bad this year. But in previous years, I had people just so much backlash, and it's just like, why? Why are you backlashing against me as if the Bears are going to be someone completely different this Sunday? I've told you what they are. I've pointed out what it is, and it's been consistent this whole time. There is so much noise. Now, this is me venting a little bit. There's so much noise. Like, especially not this year, I'm super busy. But in prior years, I look at these channels that got a lot of views. I look at these big quote unquote voices in the Bears community, and there's so much noise about every little thing. Oh, we got this new coach. He's doing this. Oh, we moved this person to this position. Oh, this guy's killing it on the practice squad. Oh, we have this. And there's so much desperate attempts to be optimistic, and that's fine. You want to be optimistic. I'm here. I'm wearing my Bears stuff every Sunday like I am right now. I'm rooting for us. But at the same time, I can be realistic about what it is. But there's so much noise about these small things. It gets these fans distracted from the things that actually matter, because you're not going to be a different team every single week. You're not going to magically be good at stuff. And that's what kills me when people are like, oh, you're a hater because I pointed out the matchup. You're not going to magically be good one week when you are a terrible unit. The reason you're probably good is because of who you playing. And so I've talked about that in many different ways. And I've discussed the Bears as a whole in many different ways. But at this point, I hope that we all kind of understand what it is. Now, a couple things that I'll finish with. Khalil Herbert, I think we got another gem in him. As good as I think David Montgomery can be now, at this point, we all understand. Running backs, for the most part, it's over with. In the league, they're just not the cream of the crop that they used to be. I mean, if you got a good offensive line, if you got good physical skills, you can go out there and do it. And so that's just what it is. And so Khalil Herbert is, I think, a really good pickup and has shown really good talent. Obviously, David Montgomery is very talented. I think Williams is talented, but Khalil Herbert is going to factor in going forward. Whether that's how much we want to pay Montgomery, whether that's a couple, I don't know if he's going to cut into his snaps, but he probably should. Herbert is for real. And so I think we have a bit of a two-headed monster. Already said about Fields. I talked about his ball security, but also his vision. I said this in the last few weeks. I really do think that that's a big area he needs to progress in. And then I had something else about the defense. I'm starting to draw a blank a little bit, but I can't remember. But what I will say real quick, because the Jalen Johnson conversation comes up every week, I've told you what that is, bro. He's not equipped to be a shutdown man-to-man corner. And it's so funny because I have some people who listen to this channel. I know listen to this channel. and they come to me about Jalen Johnson. I'm like, have you not listened to me this time? And I know you have, that you can be good in a scheme. You can be a scheme fit, but don't go crazy. Oh, Jalen Johnson's elite. Look at these numbers. Lockdown. Ain't no lockdown. There is barely any lockdown corners in this league anymore where you could actually go blow for blow with a person. There's people like Richard Sherman that can do their job in that system, and that's what Jalen Johnson's doing. And when you ask him to do more than that, you see he gets stretched. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for me. So at this point, though, let me say, I don't know. I don't really want to fire Nagy right now. I see that a lot, but I said that in the offseason. I literally, at the end of last season, said fire Nagy, get everybody out of here. But now people are calling for it in week 7. I don't really see what's the point, what's going to make that better. So I'm not really calling for him right now. I would like to see Andy Dalton come back in. And honestly, I would like to put Fields on the shelf because this is bad and he's probably going to get bad habits. I would like to put him on the shelf, just let Dalton Foles be the quarterback. And like from up top, like, hey, you got to do this because we said so. Y'all not going to have a job. It is what it is. That's what I probably like to see, to be quite honest. But I don't know. I go back and forth all the time. Just the Bears are so... Oh, that's the other thing I was going to say. I just remembered. Cole Kmet does not have yak ability. Cole Kmet, solid guy, solid player coming out. Yeah, I've seen for the last 2 years, he is not dynamic with the ball after he catches it. That's just 100% pretty easy to tackle. So anyway, that's it for me. Go down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Share it around, get the conversation started. Thumbs up, subscribe. And remember, stay up and bear down.